Eggibus, your source for import toys. Cybertron Weekly is your central hub for everything Transformers. Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another video review. Since today is December 31st, Happy New Year everyone, I figured I'd go ahead and end 2015 with a top list of Transformers for the year. Now, this is not the definitive list of all Transformers for 2015. However, this is my pick for the top 10, and they're not necessarily figures that came out this year, but figures that I personally purchased this year. Now, before we actually get into the top 10 list, I wanted to give a shout out to some honorable mentions. So these 5 figures just barely missed my top 10 list, and there are reasons why, and I'll kind of go over that real quick. But I really do like these figures. I thought they were noteworthy to talk about in this video. We'll start here in the back. We've got the Combiner Wars Leader Class Jetfire, and this is actually the Takara version. I really like the look of this figure, especially in the jet mode, and I think that the Takara version looks a lot better with all the flat red plastic versus that chrome red plastic that the Hasbro version got. I just thought that was really strange that we got that, and I waited until I could get this guy from the Agabus, so thank you, Hanny. I do appreciate that. Overall, I think it's a really good figure. It just, I don't know, there's just something a little bit flimsy about it that kept it out of my top 10, but it was really, really close to getting in there. Another larger figure that I picked up this year was Dragotron. This is from Transformers Go. It is the Takara version. I guess it's a parallel Transformers line to Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, and they took the Target exclusive, was it Beastfire, Predaking, and they redecoed it into black and red and gold, put some nice translucent red wings on it. I really like this figure, and I got this at a really good price at Big Bad Toy Store. They had it on clearance, and it filled out my Predaking collection. Very, very cool, but again, he just barely missed the mark, and I think that's due to how kind of bland the red is on the robot mode there, but overall, a very nice piece. On the deluxe size, I've got Fireflight here, or Firefly, whatever you want to call him, and this was actually the first Combiner Wars figure that I picked up for 2015, and I gotta say, I fell in love with it. I love the Combiner Wars line for the most part. There are some disappointments, Minosaur, but overall, I think it was a really good set. The Aerial Bots is definitely one of the better combiner groups, and this figure, I think, really stuck out for me for nostalgia purposes, because my father got me this figure from Japan back in the 80s, and I still have the box for it. So this brought back a slice of my childhood in plastic form, and I really appreciated that. Next up, we have Cinder Sword. So this was a BotCon exclusive figure, and I picked him up because, well, I really liked the Predacon Megatron, the 10th anniversary redeco version of this guy, and the Beast Wars redeco of this guy, so I figured I'd go ahead and complete out all the molds. And I gotta say, I really like this because this is going for that G2 vibe that the Cindersaur figure had, and the translucent plastics look really nice. I like the purples and the blue. Really cool figure, and it came that close to making it in on the top 10. And then lastly, we've got the Fall of Cybertron Stealth Starscream, or Ghost of Starscream figure. This is a Takara eHobby exclusive, I believe, and I really like this. This is my first Starscream, Ghost of Starscream type figure. And, you know, it's not the greatest figure, but I did like the clear plastic deco. And really the only reason this didn't make it into the top 10 list is because when I put in the weapons, it got some stress marks on the clear plastic, which is very, very disappointing. And this will probably be the last time the guns are actually in those pieces, because I'm afraid they're eventually just going to break. So I'm going to take those out and just display him as is. So that's it for the honorable mentions. Let's go ahead and kick off the countdown with number 10. Number 10 is going to go to the Robots in Disguise, the original Robots in Disguise, that's weird to say, Scourge. And I got this figure this year. I was so excited to get him back into my collection. I had the entire RID line at one point in time, but a lot of them got lost in a move, which made me very, very sad. And this happened to be one of my favorite figures in the line. It's basically a repaint, redeco of the G2 Laser Optimus Prime, and they turned him into a bad guy, which I loved. And this is really, while we had a Black Convoy figure, this is really the first Nemesis Prime that we've ever gotten in the Transformers series, which I just fell in love with. And I was able to get this guy at a really good price, brand new in box, and with all the parts and stuff, and the sword is on the other side of the room, and I just didn't want to go get it for this review, but definitely cool. I love this figure. The detail, I love the turquoise, bluish green, the black, the red is just absolutely gorgeous. And of course we have the chrome tanker trailer that goes with it. I would love to see an updated version of this, or maybe even take that Combiner Wars Power Master Prime we're getting and convert it into a redeco for this guy. I think that would be absolutely awesome. But if you're a Nemesis Prime fan, this has got to be in your collection. I'm so excited that he came back to me in 2015, and that is why he's number 10. My number 9 pick is going to go to a masterpiece figure, and it's Wheeljack. Now, when I got this figure, I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I really, really do. In fact, the only reason I got this figure was for the upgraded head. Just a quick shot of the head here with the upgrade kit. Now, I did take the missile launcher off of his shoulder so I could show this off a little bit better in the review. And I really liked this upgrade. I think it's pronounced Nunuff. And they did a good job. They had the glow-in-the-dark, which is the one I went with. They also had a black light reactive upgrade kit that made the ears glow under a black light, which I thought was cool, but I don't know. I went with the glow-in-the-dark because they always look like they're slightly glowing to me, and I really do like that. It was an easy swap out, unscrew the little screw in the back of the head, flip out the masks. I mean, that's a totally different mask than came with, but I mean, it's the same mask that you get with the Masterpiece, and if you wanted to, you can put the other one back on. So definitely a great upgrade for a great looking figure. So overall, I mean, the design is really nice. It's very posable. It looks accurate. The biggest gripe I've got with it is probably the little translucent wings. I wish they would have made those silver, painted them. That just would have made this a perfect piece. But all in all, it's damn good, and that's why it's number 9. Number 8 is going to go to a Generations figure, and it's Brainstorm. I was almost going to get the Smart Robin figure, and then I heard they were going to come out with this guy, and I really liked Code and W and the Mind Wipe figure. The Fans Project stuff definitely is very cool, but there was something about the Smart Robin I didn't care for. I think it was the lack of the mask on the mouth, and when Hasbro announced that they were going to come out with this figure, I was very, very excited. Of course, being an old school G1er, I am a huge fan of the Headmaster gimmick, and I think they did a good job with this piece. I like the look of the Headmaster. I mean, they're pretty simple articulation, but it does what it's supposed to. Now, of course, we had a QC issue with the original run of them. Fortunately, I did not pick any of those up. I found the QC fix, which I'm very grateful that they went through and picked out. If you have not seen that, I will add a link to that so you know if you've got a QC fixed one, or if you're looking to get one, what to look for so that the little screw doesn't break off on the Headmaster unit. And, that being said, the fixed piece, definitely worthwhile, I think. While it's unfortunate they did have a run of QC issues with those Headmaster units, one of the rare moves that Hasbro made, they went and fixed it, and we were able to figure out what the fix was on the QC. I really appreciate that. And, being a fan of the Headmaster gimmicks, I definitely had to pick this guy up. can't wait for the Skull Cruncher figure come out in the Combiner Wars waves. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and that is why he's number 8. My number 7 pick is going to go to another Combiner Wars figure, and it's the Leader Class Ultra Magnus. Now, when I use the term Leader Class, much like Jetfire, unfortunately, it's kind of take it with a grain of salt, because this is more of an Ultra Class than a Leader Class, but that's what we get nowadays. That being said, this is a fun update to Ultra Magnus. I did not get the perfect Magnus Masterpiece figure because I just hate that red bumper. I wish they had a switch out where you could put a chrome bumper on it. It just drove me crazy, and I ended up picking Citizen Stack Up instead. But this guy came out, and I was like, ooh, nice. I love an Ultra Magnus figure, and this definitely hit all the high points for me. We've got the base aesthetic for Magnus, which is really nice. There are some nice upgrades, like the fact that he's got dual missiles on his shoulders now, which is very cool. He's got this great big gun that can break down to a more G1 style gun, plus you can combine the missiles to make the Magnus hammer from Transformers Animated and Transformers Prime, which I'm definitely digging. And of course, being from the Combiner Wars line, he combines with another figure, which that really kind of threw me at the beginning, but I'm definitely liking it now. Who needs to put a Matrix in your chest when you can just put another Autobot inside? Yes, that is kind of the new gimmick with Ultra Magnus here. We get little, is it Nimbus Minimus, I think is his little partner's name. I like the fact that he's got the little robot in there. It's going to be really cool when we get the Power Master Prime figure. Now, the Takara version has this little guy painted up as Alpha Trion, which I really, really do like, and at some point I may go ahead and pick that up because I just like that. Other than that, they're really, the Hasbro and the Takara version, really about the same. This guy wasn't on the shelves too terribly long. I think I saw 2 of these guys total in the stores, which is kind of interesting, but it's definitely a fun figure, and it has some fun play gimmicks to it. So with the fun new play gimmicks with him, the updated look, I think they did a good job. Plus, it has an unofficial city mode. If you haven't seen that, I'll add a link to it to check it out. They are going to redo this figure for a Power Master Optimus Prime, which I cannot wait to get, which is why there's a city mode for Magnus, because the Prime figure's got a city mode, official city mode. So definitely very cool, very fun figure, and that is why it's number 7. My number 6 pick is going to another Masterpiece figure, and it's the G2 Bumble, or Bumblebee as the rest of the world calls him. Now, I am not a Bumblebee fan. I do pick up Bumblebee figures because there are so many of them, and they are worth reviewing. However, I think they're kind of oversaturated, but I am a Goldbug fan, and they reissued the Bumblebee figure here in the G2 Gold color scheme, which I really did appreciate, and it was cheaper. And I really didn't know what to expect out of this figure, but once I got it in hand, I gotta say, I fell in love with it. It looks good, it's very well detailed, it transforms nicely, it is probably the most posable Masterpiece figure that I've had in hand. I mean, this is just a great, great little figure. It looks good, it's stable, it's got a lot of really nice accessories. I think the gold is a little bit richer. It's not a little bit, but it's a lot richer than the actual yellow version. And the big thing I wanted on this guy was the battle mask. Yes, for me, it was all about this faceplate. Now, the G1 version of Bumblebee also came with this. If you ordered, I think it was the Takara version that had the coin on it. There was a limited edition of them that actually had the little battle mask, and people were selling those like crazy because people were wanting to get that. There was just, I don't know, the face that comes, like the face that comes with this figure, don't particularly care for, and I don't know why. It just looks chubby to me or something. I mean, it's accurately done, but just something doesn't translate into 3D. So the battle mask here makes it look more like Goldbug to me, and I really do like that, along with that beautiful, beautiful gold color. Definitely a good choice to pick up. So with all the accessories that came with, including the jetpack, which I really loved, how he had that, that coming from an episode of one of the old G1 cartoons. The fact that we could either put a G2 or a G1 logo onto his chest. In fact, you could put both and just flip it out if you so wanted to. And it had the battle mask. That, plus all the posability, makes this a great masterpiece figure, and that is why it's number 6. Number 5 is kind of a cheat, really, but not really. It's going to go to the G.I. Joe and Transformers Collectors Club combo Old Snake with the Advanced Stealth b.a.t duo. This, of course, is the Transformers Collectors Club and the G.I. Joe Collectors Club combo. We got 3 sets, I think, this year. We got this Old Snake. There was a Marissa Fairborn that came with a Technobot that didn't transform, which was stupid. And then I think if they haven't released it, they're going to. We get the humans from this episode where he turns RC, Springer, Hot Rod, Rodimus, and then Magnus into humans. We're getting G.I. Joe versions of those characters. And I'm not sure if they put that out yet or not. But this is the set I really, really wanted. Ever since that G1 episode where we had Old Snake, who is Cobra Commander, retired in the Transformers continuity, I just loved. I think it's the only crossover that we actually get aside from Marissa Fairborn, I guess, in a few episodes of the Transformers. But having Chris Latta doing Cobra Commander on that show was just brilliant. I loved it. It's definitely in my top 5 Transformers episodes of all time. But this set, very cool. We got 2 Soundwave figures from Transformers Prime repainted as bats, which I really do dig. We get an original sculpt for Old Snake here. I haven't even opened this up yet to review it. It's just been sitting on my shelf like this. I don't even know if I'm going to open it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I've reviewed Soundwave. We can see him there. It's a G.I. Joe. We can see him there. I may just leave it like this and do a review, just kind of do some close-ups and stuff. But it's absolutely gorgeous and perfect because it is an actual G.I. Joe figure of Old Snake. So just taking a closer look at Old Snake and his Bat duo themselves, definitely pretty cool. I like the trench coat. He's got the Cobra mask, the hat. This is pretty much detailed to the T of what we get in the old cartoon. He's even got his blue pants down there. I am definitely digging this figure, and to be honest, the Transformer Prime Soundwave figure makes a pretty good Bat figure. I am digging that. Here's a quick look at the back of the box. We get the artwork of the Bat in the robot mode and the Bat in the drone mode. I definitely like how it's got the Cobra logos on the wings. I think that looks really, really good. And, Old Snake just looks super cool. And then we get some bios on the 2 characters. Here's the bio for Old Snake. If you want to pause and read that, you're more than welcome to. Here's the bio for the Cobra Bats. If you want to pause and read that, you're more than welcome to. So this being a figure that we've been wanting as Transformers fans and G.I. Joe fans for over 30 years, we have finally got it, and this was a must-have pickup. Now, it's not that cheap, I will say. I think it was around $80, $90, something like that, if not a little bit more. I can't remember exactly what it was, but at least in this set, you get 2 Transformers and the G.I. Joe. I'm definitely appreciative of that, and just the nostalgia factor alone is the reason it makes my top 5. My number 4 spot is going to go to another Takara figure, and it's the Legends line RC. Of course, we did get an RC in the Hasbro Generations line. However, 2 things why I like this figure a little bit more. Number 1, I've never seen that RC figure on the shelf anywhere in the state of Indiana. I looked at every Toys R Us, every Walmart, Meijer, Target, everywhere I could think of, and I just could not find them in the Indianapolis area. Never once on the shelf. The other issue I had with it was all that black that was on it. The color scheme was wrong, and this figure is done so well to the original G1 character. I had to go with the Takara color scheme. Now, we've had some RC figures in the past, but they've never been G1 accurate as this figure is, and I was so impressed with it. It looks good both in the vehicle mode and in the robot mode. Now, granted, she's bubblegum pink, and she does have a pretty large backpack going on here, but, I mean, that's RC. The backpack actually works pretty well for me because it gives us those big pieces that we have on our shoulders, which she had in the old show. Works really, really nice. And we got a Nightbird figure from Takara out of this mold as well. So definitely pretty fun. Now, some notes to make. There were a few versions of this in the Hasbro, at least, that had open hands and closed hands, and people were complaining with the open hand that the gun was breaking the thumb off, but if you take care of it, I have had zero issues with my Legends figure, but people were preferring the closed-handed one because it was a bit more secure, and I guess I can see that. But this is definitely a great mold. This is the preferred paint job, and that is why she's number 4. My number 3 pick for 2015 is going to go to the Masterpiece Platinum Edition Year of the Goat Soundwave. Now, this is kind of a controversial figure because of the choice of the color deco and the clear plastic. This was either a love it or hate it figure. A lot of the fans absolutely hated this figure, along with the Optimus Prime, which was basically the gold and clear version of the RD Scourge that I did at the beginning of this video. They put both of those out this year for the year figures for Toys R Us, and, well, I had to pick up the Soundwave. Now, if you watch Doodog Reviews, definitely check him out. I will put a link to his video down here. He was very gracious and asked me to contribute to his top 5 action figures for 2015. This made my number 3 pick, as it is in this channel, so you can tell I wasn't lying, Doodog. Definitely check him out. Great guy, big Marvel Legends fan. But in that review, and like I'm about to say right now, the reason I got this figure, one, I didn't have a Soundwave Masterpiece figure, and, you know, it's just broken up between all the cassettes. You've got Sound Blaster, and this was a way for me to get this mold, which I love this mold, with all of the Soundwave accessories. So you're able to get all of the different minions. You've got Rumble and Frenzy, you've got Ravage, you've got Laserbeak and Buzzsaw. It comes with the little gun for Megatron that breaks down, which is very cool. You get both battery packs. I'm not sure where the other battery pack is right now for Rumble and Frenzy. You get the little grid pattern computer screen to put over Soundwave's chest, which is very cool. You get this piece, which I never did figure out what it was. Some people say it's a scanner, some people say it's a weapon, but whatever. The only piece it did not come with was Rat Bat. Now, if you got the KFC Bad Bat and Black Bat set, Black Bat right here actually works pretty well, and I think goes along nice with all the minions. He fits into Soundwave's chest, and it's a good substitute without having to pay an arm and a leg, and we don't have one in this deco. With this Soundwave being probably one of my favorite all-time Masterpiece molds, I would say the MP10 Optimus Prime mold is my all-time favorite. This is number 2 on the list for Masterpiece figures for me. I just fell in love with this as soon as I got it in my hands, and the color, I mean, it worked. You know, it's grown on me since I've gotten it. It wasn't my favorite, but I really wanted to check it out, and I like how it's a little bit different. I definitely want to get the Soundwave and the Sound Blaster so I can have all 3 of these guys sitting up on the shelf. I think that'll look really cool. But as far as the quality of getting a great Masterpiece figure from Toys R Us here in the US, mind you, at a reasonable cost with all of his minions and accessories, that is why he's number 3. Number 3 has got to go to Fortress Maximus. This is, of course, the Encore Edition figure. This has been out, I think, for a year or 2 now. Oh, he's so dusty. I got this figure from Big Bad Toy Store. They had him on sale, and this is my holy grail figure. I've been looking for a Fortress Maximus ever since I was a kid. I always wanted him. I did have Metroplex. I never had this guy, and then it's just the fact that he is the largest Transformer ever built. It was just something that I had to get into my collection. Now, this one comes with the sword that always looked like stained glass to me, which the US version, I don't remember it coming with. Yeah, there it is. It's got all the accessories. I haven't put any of the stickers on him. I don't think I will. But definitely a great piece. Huge. I'm so grateful to have him in my collection. It's definitely pretty cool. It's the holy grail of Transformers, and that is why it is number 2. And finally, my number 1 pick for 2015 has got to go to the Combiner Wars Devastator. This figure is absolutely amazing. I love this guy. You know, this is the Hasbro version, which I think the Takara has some paint apps that are a little bit nicer than what this guy has, but this works for me. There's also the San Diego Comic-Con version that has the chrome purple parts, which definitely looks pretty cool, but I'm good with this. We're not going to get a Masterpiece Devastator, I don't think, ever, and this is about the closest we're going to get. It's definitely the coolest of the combiners that we've gotten in the Combiner Wars. Now, this is supposed to be a Titan class, which is what Metroplex is in, and he's nowhere near the size of Metroplex. He's probably a good 4 to 6 inches shorter than Metroplex, but that's okay. It's definitely a great figure. It looks good. It's G1 accurate. My biggest gripe on the figure, I think, is probably Mixmaster with that really weird kind of UK style mixing truck that they've got, cement mixer. I don't know what the deal is with that thing, but you know, that being said, once you get him into the combined mode, it's really not bad. For all the faults each individual robot has, this is why you get the figure. It's definitely cool. It's definitely the biggest Devastator that Hasbro has ever produced, and to be honest, I think it blows the 3P figures out of the water, not only on the look, but as far as transformation. It's not anywhere near as complex, and the price point is definitely a lot better than those 3P versions. You know, I've got to give it to this figure all day long, and that is why he's number 1. So there it is, guys, my top 10 Transformers for 2015. Thank you, everybody who has subscribed this year. Welcome aboard. Everybody that has watched, has commented. I appreciated you all along the way, still do, and look forward to what 2016 comes. Everybody be safe tonight. Have a great new year. Enjoy it with your friends and family, and look for more videos in 2016. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and as always, look for more videos in the future.